My name is Rose Amador LeBeau. I am President and CEO of CTC. Our mission is to help people through employment and education become self-sufficient. We have a day worker center. We have educational programs so people can get their GEDs. We serve a variety of people, people who've just become unemployed, people who have never worked. We work with homeless people. We work with people who have just gotten out of prison and have to re-enter the workforce. So we're full service. I think it's seeing people make the change, become successful, make that transition, and actually having an impact on people's lives, a positive impact. To see these success stories is what it's all about. Hi, I'm Cihuapilli Rose Amador LeBeau, and this is Native Voice TV. Welcome to the show. Today I have a great guest with me. I have Roberto, let me say it correctly, Tinoco.
That's right.
Duran. Welcome to the show.
Glad to be here. First time.
I've been looking forward to you coming on the show. You're a poet and a vocalist.
Yes, author, poet, vocalist.
And you have published several books. And I've seen some of them over the years, but how many have you published?
Well, my first book was self-published in 1980 when I came out of Soledad University, Soledad State University. After that, I got published by Bilingual Press at Tempe, Arizona State, 2 books. 1987, Triple Crown, along with 2 other authors, a Cubana and Purépecha, respectively, Judith and Gustavo. Here they are. And in 1987, so in 1993, Reality Ribs was published by the same press, Bilingual Press. And my latest book is called Maximum and Minimum. It just came out this year. So.
Oh, that came out this year. Yes. Oh, how exciting. And you're going to be reading some poetry to us a little bit
some
later.
Selections from the 3.
Right. Oh, wonderful. I'm looking forward to it. But these are just 3 that you brought. You've had 6 published already?
3 other books. But
wow, yeah. 3 other books. That's pretty impressive.
And anthologies and journals, periodicals throughout the United States and abroad.
Have you traveled giving your poetry, or what is your experience?
Well, yeah, I've been to New York several times. I've done major festivals there. Cornell University used my book, this one, Triple Crown, as a text in the curriculum at Cornell.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was exciting. Yeah.
That's for sure. So now you have your books, you're working on a documentary, and it's a documentary of your life.
I'm very fortunate, very blessed to have Bill Cuzzini, who's also a poet, fine poet from San Jose, who came to one of my readings, and then I got an email, and he said, I want to do a biography, documentary on your work. And oh, really? Oh, okay. I've heard that before, right? Mm-hmm. Well, lo and behold, the documentary is finished and has been submitted already to CineQuest, and it's going to have my music, my poetry, my art. For those of you that don't know, I do art also.
You're an artist,
visual art, and so I'm real excited. And it's called Jaguar Poet, The Jaguar Poet.
The Jaguar Poet.
Yeah.
I think you brought us a clip of it or a trailer of it.
I hope you have it. Yeah, we sent it.
I'm anxious to see it, so let's take a look at that.
All right. Have you ever been insulted by strangers in blue?
It was talking about social issues.
And it kind of blew everybody away. always been a like primeval force.
To attack or hold back.
So he's kind of like one of our favorite sons.
Where do acrobats walk? After having fallen once too many times.
I mean, any creative genius, you can't do the same thing over and over again. You have to go and do something different.
Swimming
We produced 6 videos.
and the R's.
All hail to the chief, a wicked commander in thief.
There's nothing about him that you can call. You have no idea what he's going to do next or what he's going to say.
Have you ever been pushed in blood-splattered rooms?
He knows he's a rare bird in flight. Perched atop.
And just what kind of Indian are you anyway? And without reservation, I answer.
That's what it all comes down to. He set himself apart.
Some people, like Sandra, they leave a legacy. Other people, they just leave their legacy.
Wow, that's something. I'm really anxious to see that. Now, Jim Beall, our
Oh, yes.
state senator's in it, huh?
Okay, I really need to give you some background on this. This documentary, The Jaguar Poet, is dedicated to my youngest brother, David Armando Duran, who died in hospice last year. He died of liver cancer, and documentary is dedicated to him. Jim Beall, was also interviewed for the documentary. My brother was supposed to be released to us, to the family, and to San Jose to live out the remainder months of his life. Unfortunately, due to the bureaucracy, the state prison system, he was not let out on time for the compassionate release program, which to me is the irony of all life, isn't it? Compassionate release? Really? Where's the compassion when people don't get released in time to live out the remainder of the time with the family? So Jim Beall is behind this, introduced legislation to bring out people that are incarcerated, who have life sentences and who are terminally ill, to be with their families. And he introduced a bill to have that happen. It didn't happen for my brother, but for others,
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear about your brother.
So,
So is this a bill that's now in legislation, or
it's going to be, he introduced it. It's going to go through a lot of changes, but next year, hopefully, it'll start moving. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Oh, whatever we can do to support that.
Yes.
That's terrible that somebody, your loved ones aren't with you.
This documentary has the spirit of my brother David in it, and it's a redemption song for him, that his life has meaning, had meaning, and people will learn something from it, and so yeah.
Wow, it's a wonderful thing that you're doing to make a change for others. I mean, it's really important.
Yeah.
Jeez. So now your poetry is about just life in general, about Chicanos, about Native Americans, or all of the above?
There's no wrong answer, Rose. You can keep going for a few minutes.
And you'd say yes.
Yeah. I don't like labels and never have. My poetry is about anything A to Z and beyond and before. I touch on a lot of issues, a lot of subjects, and I don't really like to give a definition for my poetry. I wrote a piece that says, "How do you describe your poetry?" I don't. That's the piece.
And I know you're going to read one of your pieces on Standing Rock.
Yes, yes, I
And
did read something for
I'm-
Standing Rock.
yeah.
And absolutely.
Yeah. You know, it's been in, well, it really hasn't been in the news. It's been in our news, in our circles, but it hasn't been in the general news. But I think little by little it's coming to light and for the general public, and they really should know what's going on at Standing Rock. And I did take a little peek at your poetry, and I saw that, and
Good.
I thought, I was very impressed by that. So tell me a little bit about your life. Why would someone do a documentary about your life?
That's a good question. I've been asked that already. Beall, you know, in all honesty, Beall is a poet, Beall Cosdini, the producer of Cosdini Arts. And I have known him for about 20 years plus, around there. And so we have some history. And he's been following my career for all these years. And he said, no, I think it's time that the people beyond San Jose, know your work, and because it says something, it's worth it. And so for 2 years he worked on this. His own energy, his own heart, his own spirit, his own financial help, 2 years of his life. You know?
Wow.
How do you repay that? I can't. So I'm very, very, I was so happy
Blessed.
for that. Yeah,
Very blessed. Tell me about maximum in minimum.
Yes, maximum. Well, I'd rather read some pieces from there if that's okay.
Sure.
Okay. Maximum minimum. All right, here we go. The best way to honor the past is not to live in it. One. There was a lockdown in prison today, and your point is? There is no peace in peace officers. If one is from a third world country, by implication and insinuation, they're not from this world. The first world, per se, let alone the second world. Hey, hey. Being a Chicano is like being a brown bipolar bear. La raza is not the world. However, the world is la raza. The Department of Homeland Insecurity should all be imprisoned for making terrorist threats. I'll stop right there. Thank you.
Wow, pretty heavy stuff
Maximum, minimum.
there, huh?
So that's why it's called maximum and minimum.
Now let's talk about police brutality and about the peace
Oh boy, yeah.
or the lack of peace in peace officers. Tell me about that, and tell me about being locked up for peacefully protesting.
No. I was protesting against police brutality since the early 70s, and they noticed it. And when the time came and there was a situation, there was a domestic disturbance, that police were called, and nothing I started necessarily, but I happened to be in the neighborhood when it happened. As a result, I got involved with police. Unfortunately, they were hurt, I was hurt, and I did 4 years for that.
Oh
I had a clean record. Well, let me preface with that. There is no such thing as a clean record. Okay, okay. So, but I've never been involved in terms of in crime or probation, parole. I didn't have a record. So that gave me that. So the reason I didn't do more time was because I was working, I had children, and I was a good citizen, right? And then, but all the years that I've seen police brutalize people, hurt them, and it just treat them like less than human, it just came to a head, and I just lost it. And so, and I did 4 years in Soledad State Prison for that. I'm not proud of that. I'm not proud of hurting anyone. I was just trying to save a friend, and I did save his life. I don't talk about it much, but yes, as a result of me interfering and getting involved and getting hurt too. But,
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
When did you start writing poetry? I
think poetry started writing me, unbeknownst to me, because the reality is I don't like poetry. Well, I didn't like poetry.
Okay.
I didn't study poetry necessarily. It's something that came to me, and I embraced it to the point where I started writing, and it just evolved from there. It was just a passion, and it evolved. Then eventually, after that, performance, and then getting invited to colleges and doing workshops with students in the local high schools and junior highs and elementary schools in Santa Clara County. And so, yeah.
But did you start at a young age, or
No,
older in life, or?
1974 was my first collection of poetry, and it was quite a fluke. I was behind on a term paper, and I didn't have it ready, and Dr. Mauro Chavez, do you remember Dr.
Yes,
Mauro
I
Chavez?
do.
He was my first teacher in Mexican-American culture at San Jose City College. And he says, well, Roberto, do you have your term paper ready? I go, what term paper? He says, well, let's do tomorrow. I got it typed up. I had help. And I typed it up. It was poems about police. What do you know? And he says, oh, great, great. Now you have to read it. So that was my first real writing or real performance, or I would say performance, but actually reading the words on the page. And I kept going from there. That was in 74.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Dr. Mauro
Yeah,
Chavez, he
yeah.
was a great friend of
He
mine.
was my, he also wrote a burb, I have to say this, and
he
it's right here,
did?
Dr. Mauro
Oh,
Chavez.
I'm gonna have to read that.
If you like to read it, the blurb, if you don't
I
mind.
don't
I
have my
think it's,
glasses on.
well, it's here. Anyway, Dr. Mauro Chavez.
That's wonderful.
I'm proud of this, so I
Oh,
show it
yes.
off
What a
every time I
wonderful
can get.
person he is.
Yes.
Was.
So.
Miss him dearly. Oh, that is something. Okay, well, I want to hear some more of your poetry. You know, I'm listening to it, and of course, some of them, it really makes you chuckle because it's so true.
Humor
it's so true.
heals. It's important.
Medicine.
It's, yes. My poetry is very serious stuff. It's, zero jive. Boom. There's a lot behind it. But somewhere along the line, I don't know how it happened, the humor got in there, the satire, the irony of life, and it was a meld. And so now I write this way. The style that was a poet from New York, Puerto Rico. His name was Jaguar. He passed away. He coined my poetry, and he coined it as Tinocoisms, Tinocoisms, which is my last name, which comes from my grandpa, Jose Tinoco, who was born in 1890 from Purépecha, Chicano in the mountains, and that's where I get that blood from. And of course, my dad, El Paso, El Chato from El Paso, I'm Chicano, so I got the mix, of course, So yeah.
I love your poetry. Let's hear some more.
Okay, I want to read Standing Rock. Hey.
I'd love to hear it.
When will we understand and know it's impossible for man to stand on moral ground? When he disgraces, reprimands the people and the land, water, life, the blood in sand, from sea to shining sea. Standing Rock. Dedication to him.
That's beautiful. I was looking at that, and the last C is S-E-E.
Yes,
C.
the last C. Play on words, of course, but I'm not playing.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're not playing.
I have a poem here that it's rather long. I usually don't read long pieces, but it's called Big Mountain. I had the pleasure of going with the Veterans Peace Action Team on a humanitarian mission from La Paz, California, where Cesar Chavez gave us the benediction. And I traveled with them in a caravan of, I don't know, a dozen vehicles or more, with food and clothing that we brought to the Dene. And so I wanted to read that. In the land of Big Mountain, the elders speak softly, almost in whispers, what their heavy hearts scream. From Yamaha speakers, we heard that the Japanese want to buy the land, the coal from beneath Big Mountain, from people whose eyes are oval also. In the elders' eyes lies a horror, progress from the crimson horizon, far removed from the linear thinking of corporate America. In the elders' eyes, there is only one way, where even the white of clouds form designs to honor the land. Being born of the land in the snow of Big Mountain, there is no translation necessary in the translation of tears. From daughter to mother, being born of the land, the sacred pipe, the sacred smoke, the sacred songs of stretched skins, chanting to indifferent eardrums of an indifferent government shall go on forever. The sage, the age of elders, are not of the combine, but together we shall know the combination by opening our hearts to pipes' melodies, where the blood of humans is warmed, where the tears have no recourse as they fall back to the earth in remembrance and honor to the land. When the drums sound, they echo through pores and the blood and sweat, for in the heart flows only one color, Big Mountain.
That's beautiful, beautiful.
There's one I have to read.
Okay.
It's for my mom, dedicated to my mother, Guadalupe, 1922 to 2005. She worked in the cannery, Del Monte, infamous or famous, whatever you want to say. And it goes thus. Even after a generation of faithful service to the Valley Cannery, Del Monte, Santa Clara County, you will not see the tired faces of Valley women grace the luxury hotels. You will not see their fruit being brought to them on the finest silver trays. There will be no black tie party or flowing silk gowns. And the champagne will not sparkle after a generation of faithful service to the Valley Cannery, where worn women sneak fruit out, tucked conspicuously under stained aprons and arthritic bones. We're just a couple of miles away. The downtown skyline defines their lines from the valley of the continuous can. Mom. Okay.
That's beautiful.
Oh.
Beautiful.
Yeah. That
Valley of the Heart, huh?
Valley of Heart's Delight. Yes.
That's true. Do you have anything on Leonard Peltier, by
Huh?
any chance? Anything on Leonard Peltier?
I did do something for him in form of dedication for the at Bexton Heritage Plaza with Donna Wallach, and she's been gracious enough to invite me to do the fundraising and also an awareness every few months, and I've been part of that for maybe a couple of years, and I do have something for Leonard Peltier, but also in coincidence with my brother David, because he died in prison and Leonard's in prison. I don't have anything here, but perhaps another time I'll do some more for.
Oh, I'd love to hear something. Yes, and I know you.
I have written about Leonard.
And Donna does fundraisers for Leonard as long as I've known her.
Yes, and she's
She
still
works on our
doing it.
camera crew here. So
She
with Native Voice.
is
Wonderful
dynamite.
woman. She
She's
is.
dynamite. And her sister too.
That's right. There's
There's
two of them. We both
Two-
said that's two
there's
of
two
them.
of them.
Okay, could you read us a couple more
Well,
poems?
yes, maybe some more.
Would love to hear it. It's just beautiful.
So you'll know when I'm done because I'm going to pause, right? I've been doing that. So I don't usually use titles for my work. I don't title my work because it's not necessary, really. The poetry is not in the title or in the print. The poetry is in the white space. It's in the pause. That's where the poetry really is. So that's why I don't title my work. Drives editors crazy, but that's okay. All right. High-end thrift stores confuse me. All right, already. Give it a rest. Does it really matter if Hispanics, Latinos use Colgate or Crest? Look, a school of fish. Clean coal, coal, clean. Don't worry about martial arts, worry about martial law. I am not a religious type or font.
That's beautiful.
Okay, I need to do this one. A bomb blast for a Torah, Bible or Quran in God's name, alas, is a blasphemy.
Those are some beautiful, beautiful work. I want to thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
We're going to have to bring you back when your documentary comes out so we can talk about that.
Yes.
I'm
And
sure.
Bill?
Yes,
Gotta bring
absolutely.
Bill?
Yes, we will bring Bill. We need to talk to Bill. Fantastic individual.
Cosini. I'm plugging him.
Cosini.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cosini
Bill.
Arts.
All right. Well, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Rose.
Thank you for joining us, Native Voice TV. Like us on Facebook. I always tell you that. We'll have pictures of the set today, but you'll see our show soon. And we'll see you again next week. Thank you.
Thank you.
Indigenous soul, indigenous soul. Indigenous soul, indigenous soul. Indigenous soul, indigenous soul.